What's up, guys? Welcome to Eat, Explore, Hunt. It is Friday, October the 18th. Right now it's 4:20 in the afternoon. It's pretty warm. It's like 65 degrees, but got a pretty good wind, which has helped cooling it down a little. But right now I'm heading over to the finger stand, is what we call it, and I'll give you a view of it. So one thing that's different from last Saturday night when I sat here is the farmers harvested our corn. I think they did that yesterday afternoon, Thursday. And yeah, it's Friday now. And I was really hoping that corn was going to be there for at least another week or so. But most everything in our area has been harvested except for this bean field back behind me. But other than that, pretty much everything else has been picked. So it's not a bad thing. Deer just can't hide in the corn now. That's all it is. But I got a couple 100-yard walk from where I am right now, and we'll see you in the tree. Alright, y'all, got everything set up. I'm harnessed in, got my bow hung up ready, arrow knocked, got everything ready and good to go. Now we're just kind of waiting for a little bit of time to go by, sun to go down a little bit, and these deer to start moving, and hopefully they do move. Like I said a second ago, it's pretty warm, but I actually saw this brand new, this is a fresh rub. This rub, I believe it's a day old, which is a good sign. You know, there's not a whole lot of buck sign here on this property right now. It's still early, you know, it's the 18th of October. We're seeing a few rubs here and there. I've only seen one scrape between my farm and my parents' farm, and that one was fresh yesterday. So I did hunt yesterday. I had my camera with me and my bow, but really it was more of an observational sit. With the wind changing directions and kind of swirling, I didn't want to be up in a tree stand. I actually sat on the power line on my property, and I really just glassed. I was hoping to see some activity, even though it was, you know, not a good wind. Ended up just seeing a forkhorn buck as I worked my way back to the truck. So tonight the wind's steady. It's out of the south and east. So something I was always taught was the game don't move on an east wind. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think it's a matter of hunting the right wind for that stand. And most stands are not set up to accommodate an east wind. But luckily this stand is good on just about any wind. And actually a southeast wind, what I have today, is almost perfect. The deer a lot of times will come in directly from the northeast, so they will be out of my wind, or they'll actually come from the southeast and then pop up to the southwest right over my shoulder here. This is a great spot to kill deer, right here. And with that southeast wind, my wind is, you know, it's blowing that way. It's blowing that way, so unless a deer gets down in front of me, which they have done before, you know, if they do that, I have a 5-yard shot all through here, multiple shooting windows. But your most common shot is actually going to be right over my right shoulder here and right down here where you guys can see. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. It's not a terrible wind. It's not super breezy. We're getting some kind of heavy gusts, like right now. It's starting to gust, but really it's not bad. So I'm going to be quiet. We're going to sit and wait, and hopefully we can see some activity tonight. Stay tuned, guys. awesome experience. Oh, man. That's a pretty good buck. Whew. Man, I was shaking. That's not my target deer, but that's a good young buck. Nothing real special about him. He was pretty wide, didn't have a whole lot of height, and didn't have mass, but he looked like a really healthy, quality deer. I was considering shooting him there for a little bit. The closest he came was between about 45 and 50 yards. I wasn't cold until that. He's slowly walking off. He's probably about 80 to 90 yards right now, but he's heading towards my section of property. So again, right where I'm hunting is an intersection of 3 properties. My parents' place, my place, and then our neighbor's, who's actually selling his land. Man, got me fired up. I think there were 6 deer total. I might have got 2 or 3 on camera. I was tunnel vision. I was trying to get a good quality video of the buck. That's what everybody wants to see. People want to see bucks. If you can see tons of deer, that's cool, but getting to see one quality buck is worth a dozen does. At first, I looked over my right shoulder, because now that this corn's picked, it's common to see them further out. Now when the corn's in, they'll walk between the edge of the field and the woods, and there's a gap, and they'll walk that, and you got about a 25-yard shot back here. But because the corn's picked, he was sticking out about 45 or 50. And I really didn't want to take that shot. If he was a bigger deer, I would have. I'm comfortable shooting that range, but man, thankful I finally got a pretty good buck on camera. I've seen 3 now. 2 here on my property and my parents' property. Well, that deer is on mine. So I've seen 3 quality deer now. My target buck, that buck, and then another good one in Bloomington. All of those deer came out into the field at the exact same time. I think he was the first one I saw, I'm not sure. But as soon as I saw one, I was like, okay, got the camera on. And then I realized it was a buck. I started to get my bow ready because he was coming right at me. And they kind of hung up out there, about 45 yards, like I said. It's only October 18th, guys. The best action hasn't even started yet. If I can tag out before the rut, by all means I will. If I can do it tomorrow morning, I will. But it's so fun to get deer on camera. Got me fired up, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Eat, Explore, Hunt. My name is Jeff Bonnywell. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I work so hard coming out here, sitting in the cold, filming these deer. It is no easy feat to self-film and try and hunt. I'm trying to do it for you guys for entertainment purposes. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're returning, I appreciate your continued support. Guys, comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought of that buck. He looked like a good buck. I'm guessing a 3.5-year-old, 120, 125. Good buck. A lot of people would consider that a trophy, and I would with a bow. And hopefully we can continue to get more action like that on camera this season, guys. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a good one.